Ms. Neha Sahu is a professional fashion and lifestyle designer for 9 years now after graduating from NIF Delhi in textile design. She is currently working with Raymond's Apparel as design and buying associate. Before that, she was working with Aditya Birla Group. As her creative hunger didn't settle, she started writing in 2017. Currently, she is a published author of an anthology Curencia and 3 books on the process. My inclination towards art was ever since the day I learned to hold a pencil, she said. As a child, she used to scribble a lot, and with time, it became an integral part of her life. Even though ups and downs came, art kept her empowered. All her art pieces speak about expressions. It was in 2016 when she thought to take her art journey as a professional in the art field. Since then, she has done 3 successful exhibitions which made her believe in the art that she created. She equally loved full-time office work because that feeds her soul on a daily basis. She can't survive a day without creativity and emotional aspect. She has fought many battles and she proudly says that she won all of them and came out stronger.
Fashion is about suspense, surprise, and fantasy. It's not about the rules. A very warm welcome to all the viewers of the 21st episode of Positive Media Channel, and I wish all our viewers a very happy Diwali. Today, we have a special guest, an exceptional impression artist, a cool blogger, but most importantly, a dashing fashion designer. Let's welcome Ms. Neha Sahu. Hello, ma'am. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for this warm welcome.
How's your Diwali?
Diwali is going on. Full on good.
Thank you so much for giving us this opportunity to learn from your insights, experiences, and for being an inspiration to all the aspiring artists and fashion designers out there.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Yes, ma'am. So, to be fair, when I was first given this opportunity to interview you, I was so awestruck because my main passion and my life goal is to be a fashion designer. You can ask anyone who knows me and they would know this tiny little detail. So to all those little designers out there like me, fashion has a deep meaning. So what about you? Being a fashion designer, what does the word fashion mean to you?
See, fashion, a lot of people understand it through different ways, like how people carry what is visible to us in like television, movies. But as per me, fashion is for something your for self-expression, how you are as a personality. This is what comes out in your fashion statement. So, as per me, I don't follow any trend or style icon, global or for national. What I do, I wear what I am comfortable with, and fashion, in my words, is for comfort, your for personality, your own expression, and your own style. What you create. This is what, as an individual, I see fashion is.
So fashion is more than just the clothes or what we see from outside.
It's a lot more than just the clothes or what is visible to us. It's all about your personality and how you portray yourself.
Okay. So for many people around the world, especially for the middle class Indian families, it's either doctor or engineer. These are the 2 ideal jobs. And when we think about fashion designing, it is like an out of the box option. What do you think about this type of approach to fashion? Have you faced these kind of problems when working towards your passion?
course, I am actually I also belong from a middle class family. My father is a professor, and I remember back then in 2007 when I finished my 12th. So he wanted me to become a doctor. So and in academics, I was very poor in studies. I had no interest in any kind of study. I just cleared out my boards. I passed, and that was a big achievement for me. Like I did not flunk, for God forbid. So yeah, after then he made me to go through a lot of entrance exams, like medical, engineering, whatever. He just wanted me to be a gadgeted name in society. Like in our society, if a person is a doctor, engineer, or a teacher, he is considered as a respectful person. Or and if a person is following his or her passion, you say artist, a singer, a director in movies, they are considered as like I don't know what they are doing, just wasting their life.
His hobbies, that's what they call it, his hobbies.
That kind of approach people have still in our society. So at that time, he wanted desperately me to start with either BA in economics, as he is a professor of economics, or a doctor. He tried his best, but as my soul was inclined towards art and for something different apart from the general race. So I was a kind of like rebel, you say. I rebelled a lot. I got through this entrance, and yeah, he couldn't stop me after then when I got through the entrance. So indeed, it was a difficult journey to begin with, but then when I started, it was a different world altogether.
So
Coming
that
from a
struggle was
small
worth
town,
it.
yes, it was absolutely worth it. Coming from a small town, I belong from Jharkhand, a small city for Dhanbad, which is a coal capital of India. So, and from there straight forward, I came to Delhi NIFT, which is, I mean, still it is considered as a most glamorous institutes of India. And straight I came in here, and I was completely awestruck to see the world outside apart from our small cities. So yeah, those 4 years were a lot of learning, a lot of experience, exposure, and after 4 years, what I came out was an individual who believed in herself, who knew her path, her journey.
Neha before NIFT and Neha after NIFT has a lot of difference. I think it's a really very like it's kind of a transition from a small being cooped up to just some possibilities. So there's a glass ceiling around you, and then when you just break it, it's that wonderful feeling you get of freedom.
Break it, you see, life is not just about what we are taught about. So it's a lot more to explore, to see different kind of people around. You will be amazed to see the journeys people have. And all these years in my experiences, I have seen people with amazing life journeys who didn't who did not follow the social norms, rules, and regulations. So this is what kept inspiring me to do more and more better.
It's in point. So another thing which is very connected to what we just talked now is that when we think about the word fashion, at least when other people think about the word fashion, the main other words that are attached to it comes into our mind like modernism or Western culture. How do you think you can debunk this myth that fashion design means crossing the boundary of our culture and traditions? Do you think it forces anyone to leave their traditions behind?
Absolutely not. who said that? See, currently, how people see fashion, this is what I said just now. How people see fashion is just the clothes. If somebody is well dressed, she's carrying herself in a good way, people say she's too fashionable. You see, this is what this thinking is. But fashion is not just about clothes. We follow the Western line as because the clothing brands, if you see the influential brand in India, mostly they are following the Western clothing line: Zara, H&M, Mango, Marks and Spencers. But these are the good names in fashion industry which influences people, like mass population in India. But if we see in India the culture, there are a lot of designers, small brands who are not right now in the mass market, but they are taking Indian fashion, Indian culture ahead, like which we call as ethnic fashion, Indo-Western. So there are people in India who are doing such kind of work, and I think we should appreciate and start promoting these stuff rather than, and then we can see how Western culture and Indian culture is influencing people. In India, we see the Western fashion a lot, but in Western countries, you will see a craze of Indian fashion, like ethnic wear, suits, saris a lot.
So, as I was talking, do you think fashion is flexible? Like, how can you incorporate the ideas of sustainability, anti-body shaming elements into our designs so that it reflects the issues society face, like wearing to make a statement?
Of course, and I think these days a lot of designers and renowned name are doing such kind of thing. They are incorporating design and fashion statements in such a way that they are speaking out for social cause, like for body shape, for shaming, rape issues, smash the patriarchy kind of thing, women empowerment.
So fashion is capable of making a statement. Fashion is capable of
Thing that people follows, even though if they don't believe in it. It's like mass population is going towards for something they don't know even. This is what fashion has, this capability to influence people in a stronger way. So I believe if you convey a message or a cause through fashion, it has that capacity to change people's mind, and a lot of people these days are doing this.
It is so, like, I think it's similar to writing a book or giving a speech, right? Because you can share a statement or you can share your ideas through fashion as well. It's very flexible. Okay. So, being a fashion designer, what do you think are the main traits or main qualities a people should have so that they become a successful fashion designer in their life?
Just one: believe in yourself, believe in what you do, and trust your gut instinct, and be confident about whatever you are doing, irrespective of what people will think about it, how people will see it. Before everything, just only one thing is important: how you see yourself and how you see your work. That's all.
Wow. Okay. So that one particular quality can overpower all the other ones you have that can actually help you get to any ambition. So, other than a fashion designer, let's leave that fashion designer for some time, you're also an artist. So, when I try to paint, I take like 3 to 4 hours, maybe not to paint the masterpiece. The first 2, 3 hours, I'll be thinking what to draw. I'll be staring at the blank canvas for hours, and then I finally take the brush and paint something. So, being a successful artist, like, how do you choose your subjects? That's like the most difficult task I've ever come across, choosing subjects for your painting?
For me, but that's the most relieving part. So I'll
Okay.
start with this. Like you have seen me as a designer until now, and now we are talking about being an artist. So first, I'll talk what's the difference between a designer and an artist. So a designer is also a creative field. An artist is also a creative person. The only difference is a designer creates for someone else, for the client, as per the people's requirement. An artist creates for himself or herself, not for anyone else. So, as an artist, when I start to create something, mostly I create an expression of my own self. Whatever is going inside me or my mind, I just start painting without thinking a specific form. So, see, I am a self-taught artist. I have never learned any kind of art from anywhere. So, since childhood, I used to scribble a lot. And then as I grew up, I started exploring different color mediums. And then I got busy in studies, my graduation, I left art. And then in 2015, I again started to paint when I was going through little low phase. At that period, art helped me a lot to overcome with it. And I remember the first canvas I painted, it was out of nowhere. I had nothing in my mind. I just had colors, brushes, and a canvas in front of me. And I started painting. And after 2 hours or for 3 hours, it was finished, and I had a look of that complete artwork. It was beautiful, and after that, I can still remember how light I was feeling. It actually relieves yourself. So, art I see an expression, a form of
Medium of expression. Yeah.
for me.
I think there are many things that cannot be expressed in word, but when you just take that paint and put it in the canvas, it just makes so much sense more than saying it out loud.
And as per me, every human being is an artist. You every human has something or other to express, right? Expression is in every person's life. Everyone likes to express. So for something which you cannot express in words, you can express in art.
Yeah. So you talked that you were a really rebellious child, especially to get to that passion, to get what you wanted. You really worked hard. So what is that one? Who is that one person who encouraged you, who ran with you to chase your dreams?
I think my mom, she was the only one person who believed in me at that time, because I remember I used to be at home for like almost 8, 9 months and I had nothing. My father was like pressurizing me to start college into economics honors, and then I was in a middle of depression, you can say. At that time my mom was one person who kept saying, do what you want, believe in yourself, keep trying. At least agar if you succeed, it's good. If you don't succeed, at least you tried.
Yes. You only have one life. You have to lead the way you want
And
it.
I remember she was the one who sat with me, who made me to prepare for my entrance exams. I had no source of coaching centers or any kind of guidance. I remember I prepared on all of myself. So yeah, my mom.
So, when you had gone to lift, when you were learning fashion, there were many people around you who continuously reminded you of the risks of entering this field, right? There would have been a lot of people. I can imagine what would it have been.
A lot.
So, so how did you like overcome this fear of failing and have, especially fashion, it's a field where there is potential risks. So how did you overcome this fear of failing and become the person who you are today?
See, fashion industry is somewhere how much you see for successful people, the equal amount of people are there who are facing failures only because of this one thing, self inferiority, self doubt. Because I believe this is a industry where there is a lot of competition. If you are not in the race, you are nowhere. And if you are not succeeding, you are nowhere. This is how it is judged in this industry. So I remember when I first entered my NIF journey in my first year, I used to be like a shabby girl uh, who had no sense of dressing or representing herself in a personality. So for the first year, 1 year, I struggled a lot to, portray myself, to make my position at least. And it was indeed a big struggle for me. I remember after a year, I was on a verge of giving up. I thought I can't do it anymore. This world is not for me. And I literally wanted to go back. I called my mom. I said, I can't do it anymore, mom. I want to come back. I can pursue whatever Papa is asking me, but this is very difficult. That time also, she was the one who kept the faith in me. She said, you can do it. You have gone all this while on your own, and now also you can do it. Have faith in yourself. And yeah, from second year, I started working on myself, like how to speak with people, how to talk with people, how to dress, how to represent yourself. So all these things matter a lot. Yeah. And
So in your journey, it was not just starting from the beginning and just slowly, just suddenly you come to success. It was definitely not like that. There was a lot of struggles, lot of
definitely
hurdles,
4 years was like roller coaster ride.
many ups and downs. So you came out through all that. And how do you think, if you had not gone through that difficulties, do you think it would have molded you in a better way, or do you think you would have been the person sitting before me today?
No, actually, I'm glad that I went through all those things, because if those wouldn't been there, I would have never come across to this real meaning of being successful. What people see as a success is that how much money you are earning, or you are at a certain position. But as per me, this is not success, this is your achievements. But for to be successful, I think it's your experiences matter a lot, how you have uh, won your real life battles.
I think success is that feeling you get once you really work hard for something, you achieve something, the satisfaction.
Yeah, that proud moment that yes, I did it.
Yes. So there are many children like you who are sometimes so scared and they are not able to chase their dreams. They are not sure whether it is their dream, whether they don't know what their passion is. So, to all those children who want to work for their passion without fear, without risk, what is your message to all those little ones and teens who wants to accomplish their dreams, want to chase behind their dreams?
Okay, so number one, know your dreams first. what do you really want to do? Like you close your eyes and you can see just one thing and nothing else. Your heart, soul, and mind think about just one thing and follow for that. Chase it, dream about it while sleeping or not sleeping, while eating or doing anything. Just think about it. And I think while going ahead, do not listen to anyone, anybody, whosoever gives you a second thought or who is doubtful about it. You know yourself, you know your dreams, you know what you want, and you can 100% achieve it. There is nothing called impossible. Everything is possible if you really want to do it. So just do it. Because if you take risk, either you can lead or you can fail. If you lead, you can guide. And if you fail, you have that experience.
So it's a win-win in all situations.
And I always suggest and advise to take risk in life. Because without taking risk, you cannot go anywhere.
And even if you think about it, what is life without risks? Only with those risks, it gives like a, what do you say, a little more life to our existence. If you need to take this, if there's only downs, there are ups. So basically, if you want to chase your passion, you need to, yes.
Yes, you need to take a lot of risk, and let me tell you, the path, the journey won't be easy. It may be very, very difficult. One day you will find that you're not going anywhere. You are still stuck. After all these struggles, you're not achieving it. But the day will come. Have patience and keep doing. At least, don't be stagnant. At least crawl, move. This is the only one mantra I can give.
Wow. I'm pretty sure after seeing this interview, if not one, if not two, there will be a lot of children who will start working for their dreams after seeing this interview. And I would like to say thanks from all of them. I would like to represent them and say a big thank you again. Thank you so much for spending your valuable time and sharing all your experience with us.
Thank you so much.